What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy, the wisest and most powerful of all nerds, Brian Meezus. With the upcoming release of Super Mario Odyssey, I decided to make my top 10 list of the best Super Mario games in the franchise. This list will not include games such as Super Mario Kart, Super Mario Maker, or games like Luigi's Mansion. I also want to apologize to a lot of nostalgic fans, as not many classic Mario games made my top 10. Super Mario Bros. 3 is coming in number 10 on my list. It's a great game and I like it better than most of the retro Mario games. Mainly because it finally gave the ability to run, which gave Mario much more control. Also, correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's the first game where Mario had other power-ups besides the fireball. Super Mario Bros. 3 did everything better than its original, and I mean everything. Much more level variety, much more enemy diversity, and it was also the first time that we were introduced to the Mario overworld. Correct me if I'm wrong. Super Mario Bros. 3 provided an extreme amount of content for its day and age. This game came out way back in 1998, 3 years before I was even born. It had plenty of remakes and updates or ports, and I feel like the rest of the games on this list are just much more fluid than Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario World. This is definitely my favorite classic Super Mario Bros. Game. It has cool power-ups, great music, brilliant level design, and graphics for its day and age. Plenty of secrets to discover, an enormous plethora of levels, and did I mention it was the first game to introduce Yoshi to the franchise? Yoshi was so awesome. Not only did it make it easier for Mario to maneuver throughout the level, but also easier to kill a lot of enemies. Plus, as long as you're mounted on Yoshi, you were immune to enemy attacks, and you didn't have to worry about losing your power up, even if you were hit. Not to mention, Yoshi gets his own power-ups by engulfing different colored Koopa, such as the ability to shoot fireballs or fly. And some Yoshi in the game automatically came with these power-ups. Swagger. Before I get much further, I want to bring up the cringe-worthy Super Mario Sunshine commercial that it had back in the day.
Because clean is better than dirty, and dirty's meaner than clean.
It's all under helping hand. Mario can't do it alone. He'll spray his water to fly around and clean the sludge that's on the ground.
Because clean is better.
When Super Mario Sunshine was first released, it was one of the most beautiful and colorful games on the market. It was the premier Mario game for the Nintendo GameCube. In this game, Mario was given the hydro mechanism known as Flood, which allowed Mario to attack enemies with a fire hose-like fashion, hover, or even rock himself in the air, or either run at high speeds or glide across the water in a Super Saiyan-like fashion. Also, the first time Yoshi made an appearance in a 3D Mario game as a playable character. Like other games, Yoshi also had different abilities depending on the color Yoshi, and Yoshi could change his color differentiating on the kind of fruits that was found on Delfino Island. Super Mario 3D Land. This game is a premier Mario game for the Nintendo 3DS. This was the first 3D platforming Mario game to truly capture the essence of 2D Mario platformers. Unlike the rest of 3D Mario games, which gives you miniature worlds to explore, objectives to complete, and items to collect, this game puts you on a clock and requires you to reach the flag at the end of each level. Also, unlike the other modern 3D Mario games, Mario will grow if you obtain a mushroom, and shrink if you take a hit from an enemy. I also felt that a lot of this game felt very easy with the exception of a few levels, and just a little too straightforward. Yahoo! Super Mario 64. This game is awesome on every level. I'm referring to the original Super Mario 64 that actually came out on the Nintendo 64. Because I've mainly played multiplayer on the DS version, it won't be on this list. Anyway, back to the story. Super Mario 64 was the very first 3D Super Mario game, so long as you don't count Super Mario RPG as a 3D game. Well, at least it was the very first Super Mario platforming game that wasn't 3D. In this game, you got to explore Peach's castle. Mario is given melee attacks. It has some of the coolest power-ups in the entire franchise, which were Flight Mario, which allowed you to fly like Superman. Not really, more like Batman from the Arkham series. But it's still freaking awesome. in 1996, come on, to be able to fly in a video game. Let's not forget about Metal Mario as well. Metal Mario is nigh indestructible. It also played an incredible tune while having this power up. The Super Mario 64 revolutionized the franchise and the platforming genre as a whole. Not only did they just bring the game to the 3D landscape, but as I said earlier, this video game also modernized the format of Super Mario. Super Mario 64 requires you to collect stars by exploring different levels in order to advance through the game and unlock more levels. Whether you're the most modern or most nostalgic Super Mario fan, this game has to be on your top 10 list somewhere. Yippee! New Super Mario Bros. Wii. The predecessor New Super Mario Bros. For Nintendo DS almost made this list. Literally, it was number 11 for me. New Super Mario Bros. Was the first side-scrolling Mario game that had the 3D graphical design. And even though it was a side-scroller, it did implement a few mechanics that were seen in the 3D Mario games, such as the triple jump and the ground and pound. Ground smash, whatever you call it. The New Super Mario Bros. Series took everything that the 2D Mario games made great and reinvented them for a new era. With New Super Mario Bros. Wii, it was the first time we could play a Super Mario side-scrolling game with 4 players. The playable characters were Mario, Luigi, and 2 different colored Toads. Where the best things that were introduced to the side-scrolling platformer with New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the players can now shake the Wii remote in order to momentarily hover. When jumping over the most sinister obstacles, this maneuver was key. New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, or New Super Mario Bros. U. Out of all the side-scrolling Mario games, this one has to be my favorite. New Super Mario Bros. Wii U takes the best aspects of all the 2D side-scrolling Mario games, especially the New Super Mario Bros. Series. New Super Mario Bros. U is more fast-paced than all the other side-scrolling Mario games. All the playable modes in Super Mario Bros. Are co-op, and even features DLC New Super Luigi Brothers, which put new gameplay physics in the game. Instead of running around in the normal physics that you were used to playing in normal mode, everything was much more floaty, kind of like Luigi. I really like this because the gameplay required you to make a lot of exaggerated and nail-biting jumps to complete levels. The Wii U gamepad also allowed for a 5th player to get in on the action by creating platforms for players to reach certain areas or even save them from certain death. The Super Mario 3D World. Super Mario 3D World brings the format that we've seen in Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS and brings it to the home console of the Nintendo Wii U. The games are very much the same, but the level design in 3D World is much more immersive and thought out. There is the main campaign in Super Mario 3D World that resembles that of every other platforming game in the Mario franchise, but beating that is just the tip of the iceberg. Once beating the main game, you're given access to loads more levels that were available to you previously and far more difficult. Like the New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U, 4 players could play at the same time, which results in some hectic and competitive and enjoyable chaos. With the player that performed the best throughout the level receiving a crown. You also have the option to play as 5 different characters, which are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, and Rosalina, each bringing different stats attributes to the table. With really awesome power-ups, level designs, and catchy tunes, this game ranks extremely high on my list. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Now I'm pretty sure you could have guessed by now which games took the number 1 and 2 spot on my list, and why I conveniently skipped over number 2. Unquestionably, Super Mario 1 and 2 are the best games in Mario's current history. In the mid-2000s, the 3D platform genre was nearly completely dead. It was because of the first Super Mario Galaxy, the 3D platforming genre was literally birthed back into life. I'm not even sure if there is a short way to describe the Galaxy series, but I'll try my best. As Mario, you do your typical platforming gig that you would see in the other Mario games, stomping on enemies, throwing fireballs, saving Princess Peach from Bowser as per usual. But the gameplay mechanic revolves around gravity and hopping from miniature planets and landmasses. But that description is literally touching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Super Mario Galaxy. Because there are plenty of individual levels in both games that have more creativity than some games had in its era as a whole. Take a look at some of my favorite levels, for example. And oh my god, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 had the best music in all of Mario's history. It's literally the portfolio of Koji Kondo's best work. Now I would say that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is better than the original. It had more difficult levels and you can play as Yoshi. But all in all, both games are some of my most favorite games I've ever played in my life. They will always have a special place in my heart. Anyway, that wraps up my top 10 Mario games. Please let me know what you think, and I'm interested in hearing what your top 10 Mario games are as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, or I will find you. It's your boy, Brimeezus, the wisest and most powerful of all nerds. I will see you guys next time with a review of Super Mario Odyssey.